We're doing it live. I think we're live. You're not Lindsay. You're Tim Godwin. What's up with that? Hey, Tim.
Hey, are we live?
We're live. Yeah, we're live, man.
Where's Andy?
I don't know where Andy is. Here's what. Have you watched the show in a while? Dude, it's gotten crazy, like sophisticated. Yeah. Watch this. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to press this button and then this thing's going to play. And then when we come back, Andy's going to be there. I hope. We'll see. Let's try it out. All right. Okay. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Hey, it's got no audio to it this time. How'd that happen? Oh, well, we'll just figure it out. Andy. There's Andy. See, we did that. It was like magical. It was like everyone was like waiting for their tone.
I got your audio.
You got me. Okay, ready, Andy? Andy? Okay, now next thing that happens is Andy's going to play a song. Andy, take it away.
What time is it? What time is it? It's prime time. It's prime time. What time is it? What time is it? Prime time. It's prime time. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the galaxy, welcome to prime time. Sometimes we ain't got no audio. It's okay. Tonight, we're very happy, very excited to have Mr. Trey Hensley with us. What's up, Trey?
How's it going?
Sitting in for the lovely Lindsay is Mr. Tim Godwin. Hey, welcome back to the show, Mr. Tim. And as always, your host, Jay Parker.
We really put some effort into tricking y'all with like not having audio during the intro.
It was a trick.
That was planned. That was planned lack of budget right there. That's what that was.
We saved money.
We saved money. Ladies and gentlemen in the feed, welcome to Taylor Primetime. Thank you so much for joining us. We have an awesome show tonight. The man, Trey Hensley, is joining us tonight. If you were watching last week, we called him out in the feed because he's a fan of the show, apparently. He's also a Braves fan. Congratulations.
Yes, I am.
Wow.
Wait a second.
Heck yeah, man.
Wait a second. Let's just do a little update real quick. You know, I try and turn these into sports shows every single night.
Keep us in the loop, man.
All right. It's bottom of the second. Right here on my app here, it says bottom of the second, 3-0 Atlanta.
All right.
I heard there was a home run in the top of the first.
Heck yeah, man.
Well, congratulations. Tim, welcome back to the show. You're not a guest this time. You are an actual co-host.
Well, thanks for having me, Jay.
Yeah. Where are you, Tim? That's not your office.
I'm at home. This is my home office. This was my COVID office.
This is your COVID office. And Andy Lund, welcome. Every week where? Okay, you're all blued out right now. Yep. Where are you, Andy?
Jay, I'm in the North Woods tonight.
You are in the North Woods. And where's the cold? Explain the lighting. Where'd that come from?
I'm just working, last couple of weeks, Lindsay's been turning it on, like with her uplighting. I don't have the budget for that, but I did go to Ace Hardware today and got a second blue light. And I already had, as you may remember, I had a lava lamp that I purchased at a Menards several months back. So I'm just trying to keep it up with Lindsay. That's what I'm trying to do.
Wow. That's impressive.
She's not here.
She's not here. She is doing her artist relations job. Tim, what show is she at? Do you know?
She is at a show, Jay, that she told me and I forgot. But it's somewhere in San Diego. Santiago, somewhere here.
Okay. All right. She's probably watching the baseball game. That's true. She's like,
I think she's home.
Jay's
not missing the World Series.
Yeah. Jay's not too bright right now, having a show during the game 1 of the World Series. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. The North Woods. Okay, where exactly is the North Woods? Phil asks. We can't really say because it just doesn't exist on a map. I heard. Is that right, Andy?
It's northeast.
All right. Fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what's going on. The next few weeks, you saw the previous couple of shows. We're doing a guitar shape face-off or showdown. We've been putting up a series of content on our YouTube channel. If you've seen, we're doing some showdowns where we're playing different shapes and comparing them and just seeing the different tones and tonality that we get out of these things. Last week, we called Trey out, Trey Hensley there in the corner, and we said, hey, we need an artist for the GP, and you play the GP. So why not join us? Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Andy Lund, it's always good to see you. Tim, it's always good to see you. Real quick feed reminder, let's keep the nerd and Guitar Nerd Talk Show derogatory, hateful, or political comments. I'm going to put you in timeout. Let's keep this all guitar related, please. Yeah. Baseball, politics, that's different, okay? If you want to talk about sticky stuff and stuff like that, that's fine. Anything sports related is fine. Trivia. There is a trivia question at the end of the show. It's going to be a gift pack, including a strap, Bob's book, some cleaner, some picks, all sorts of stuff, a tuner. What else? Andy, we got no hate this week. None. Okay. Zero hate. Well, you sent me a hateful email, but we'll talk about that later. And no, you didn't. I'm kidding. But you know what we could do? We do some segments, Trey. We're going to do a real quick segment called What Are You Listening To? Sweet. I'm going to play a useless clip. Then Andy's going to play a song, and we're going to talk about what we're listening to. It's pretty simple.
Did you sing from your soul? Were you out of control? Did you stop in your tracks? Did you frighten your cats? What's new? What's new? What are you listening to? What are you listening to?
Oh, Andy, whenever you rhyme with anything with cats, it makes me happy. All right, Trey Hensley, man, what are you listening to? Music aficionado up there in the corner.
Oh man, lately I've been kind of on the new Bela Fleck record, like pretty nonstop. A lot of Cannonball Adderley, a lot of live stuff I've been into, and the new Maiden record.
It's so great, isn't it?
It is really, really good, man. It's awesome. I've had a lot of road trips lately, and I've just kind of been listening to that pretty nonstop too.
That's what I'm saying. When in doubt, put on a Maiden record and drive.
Yeah, it's great, man. You wouldn't expect them to be still killing it in 2021, but
it's fantastic.
I'm here for it.
I'm so glad we agree with that. Tim, what are you listening to?
What am I listening to? I'm doing a couple things. I'm listening to, going back to James Taylor stuff for some reason. I've been doing this James Taylor thing and kind of diving into that. And then Phoebe Bridgers, little bit of Switchfoot.
Yeah, Switchfoot?
The new one.
And Terabang.
And just in podcasts.
Lots of podcasts. Sports podcasts?
Oh,
conspiracy theory podcasts.
Yes, conspiracy theory podcasts.
Music conspiracy theory podcasts.
That's right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody do a music conspiracy theory podcast? Think about it. We just wrote a gold record. All right, guys. That's what we're doing next when we get fired from Taylor. All right. Andy, what are you listening to?
I've gone back to an old John Abercrombie record.
Oh wow!
This is I just hooked up a new turntable rig, and I've been going back through vinyl. This is a record I listened to in college. John Abercrombie, Jan Hammer, and Jack DeJohnette, and Mike Brecker. Wow. I mean, come on!
Oh my God!
This is a killer record that I forgot how cool it is. And also, I listened to and watched the Count Me In documentary on Netflix. You guys seen that?
Oh yeah, that's
Yes.
great, man.
How
I just watched
fantastic
that
is
too.
that?
Super cool. Yeah, just it's really all about drummers and how bizarre and weird and awesome drummers are.
Yeah, speaking of Maiden, Nico is such a heavy part of that, and it's awesome to see like those stories where you're like, no, I'm an old jazz guy.
He's a
You know
jazz
what I mean?
guy.
Yeah, I know, man.
He's
And
like a
he
jazz
was-
hat.
I know, it's insane.
His whole presence was so like light and fluffy and airy and full of joy. It was I just don't think of that when you hear the music, you know.
I know this is a guitar nerd podcast or talk show. We get that, but watch Count Me In on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yep.
You're only as good as your drummer, so it'll help you
Amen.
learn how to pick a really good drummer.
Yes.
That's for sure. I've been listening to a band called Deaf Heaven from.
Oh yeah, man, Deaf Heaven. They're awesome.
The new Deaf Heaven record's called Infinite Granite, and it's beautiful. It's
I
really
love it.
beautiful. And then another Southern California band, an Orange County band, Thrice, has a new record called Horizons East. And long story short, I toured with them on their very first tour. They didn't have any crew. I was with another band, and I taught them how to stretch strings. Legitimately, some of the best guitar players I've ever met would wonder why their guitars always went out of tune. Yeah. It was magical. So Thrice, Horizons East. It's perfect. I love it. Okay, that's it.
Nice.
I think we're going to dive right into the conversation because we have Trey on the show. All right. But first and foremost, Trey Hensley. Welcome back one more time. Welcome to the show one more time. A singer, songwriter, and guitarist performed. Well, there's that. Performed at the Grand Ole Opry when he was 11 years old with Marty Stewart and Earl Scruggs. One half of the Grammy-nominated Rob Ickes, remember that one? Rob Ickes and Trey Hensley duo. So you would be the Trey Hensley part, I'm assuming.
Yeah, sometimes. Occasionally we'll swap. You know, we're interchangeable, but
when
for the most
did you
part, I'm
guys?
the Trey Hensley.
Okay, 11 years old. When did you start playing guitar?
10. I got a guitar when I was 10.
You got a guitar when you were 10.
I did.
Tim,
And a year later.
Tim, when did you start playing guitar?
Wow, around the same time, 10. But I
didn't play the Grand Ole Opry.
I did not play the Grand Ole Opry at 11.
You did not play the Grand Ole Opry at 11. Or are you Grammy nominated?
No.
No? Okay. Andy.
Trey, what song did you play when you were your first gig at the Grand
I played a Carter Family song called Jimmy Brown the Newsboy.
Uh-huh. Did they give you a break on it?
They did. I played I guess three of the four breaks.
Wow.
And Earl took the other one. I had learned that song from a really kind of obscure Flatt and Scruggs record called Flatt and Scruggs Sing and Play the Famous Songs of the Carter Family, which is a really long title, but it was just them doing these songs with Mother Maybelle, and Earl played a lot of guitar on it. And I don't even know how I had that record, but I really loved it. And so that Jimmy Brown was one of the first songs that I wanted to learn to play the way Earl played it, and so I got to meet Marty Stewart, and long story short, he kind of recognized that I learned the guitar part from Earl, and so as a surprise to me, he brought Earl to the Opry the night that we played. And
oh my God!
Oh my goodness!
And then that's how I met Rob for the first time, was through Earl. Rob played in Earl Scruggs' band for I guess about 10 years, and I used to sit in with them, and so yeah, that's how Rob and I met years and years ago.
Okay. What made you start playing guitar? Was it a family member? Was it?
Not really. I mean, my family were always into music, but I went to a bluegrass festival, and there was this guy, Charlie Waller, who played in this band called the Country Gentlemen, and he was probably the first person I ever saw actually like play a guitar, play a solo on guitar, and that just seeing that, somebody actually taking a guitar break in person was really what made me want to get a guitar. And I think the next day, you know, a family friend gave me an old guitar, and I just kind of became obsessed with it. And here I am 20 years later.
So obsessed with guitar, and then you're playing a year later at the Opry. This is wild. All right, so you know what? This is blowing our minds. Everyone needs to be, their minds need to be blown. My mom especially, she's watching the show. Okay.
All right.
So check this out. Right here, I'm going to ask you a question because I wrote it down. Hey, Trey, will you play for 1 minute? And
Yeah.
will someone in the feed count how many notes he plays?
Don't count the only count. No, never mind.
Yeah.
Only count the notes you hit. Right, I got it.
That's right. Yeah. Don't worry if they're good or not.
Okay, here we go.
Let's see. Yeah.
Nice.
I think there were 10. I counted 10.
Yeah. There's at least 10, I think.
Wow.
Right. Okay, that's about 2 weeks worth for me. Right.
Yeah.
Right. I had the wonderful time of spending an afternoon with Trey at Southern Ground Studios in Nashville, Zach Brown's studio, and we recorded Trey. This is funny. Kenneth writes 1974. Also known as 1974. That's so good. But we recorded Trey, and we were listening to it on playback. And Trey, you're so precise with your flat picking that you can hear. The coolest part about hearing you on record is the thud of every single pick. And in the studio, it's mind-boggling. Were you there, Tim? When he, man, you're incredible. How do you practice a lot? What do you do to, what clicked for you? I mean, it's truly magical, man. Like, what clicked for you to make this happen?
I don't know. I just always really, really liked it. I mean, it immediately felt like it's what I wanted to do. You know, I had a guitar teacher when I first started playing, and I just love learning new things. You know, it's like, and that's still kind of the exciting thing for me is like working on, you know, new, whether it's genres of music or like new things. You know, I feel like I still, you know, have so much to learn, and so that's what I like to do. You know.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, you are in good hands. Trey knows his way around a guitar. He's a cool part about Trey is that he plays all guitars. It's really great to see. He'll play, you know, Collings. He'll play Bourgeois. He'll play Martins. He's got old Martins. He's got new Martins. He'll play, I don't know if you have any Gibsons. You've got Eastman guitars. You've got Thompson guitars. You've got just this wealth of guitars. You are actually a guitar nerd. This is what you're looking at.
I'm a guitar nerd.
Yeah.
You're a guitar collector. You're a guitar nerd. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you are in great hands for this GP face-off.
Yeah.
We are talking about the Grand Pacific. The Grand Pacific was launched in 2019. As you guys know, it's Andy Powers' version of a round-shouldered dreadnought. And before we kick off the actual face-off, right? I want to talk about Tim and I were tasked. Tim and the artist relations team, and I was lucky to be a part of that. We're tasked to put these guitars in a lot of players' hands. We've seen other manufacturers do that. Recently, we saw Fender do that with the Acoustasonic Jazzmaster. All of a sudden, it just started showing up in people's hands. Cool thing about Trey, our relationship with Trey, is Andy Powers actually has given you and sent you prototypes and stuff way early, like stuff like before we've even seen it. You've got it in your hands and playing. So that relationship's pretty cool. But Tim and I were tasked on bringing it to Nashville. Remember, Tim?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And so Tim really wanted this guitar to be played by Dan Huff and David Huff, the Huff brothers, if you will. And in a minute, we have a clip to show you that from 2018, right before this guitar was launched, their reaction of the GP, and then we're going to dive into this face-off. So, Tim, why was it so important to put it in the Huff brothers' hands?
Well, Jay, the reason it was important to put it into the Huff brothers' hands was
you're doing a good job.
Thanks. I appreciate it. You're a good mentor on this with all this. So Dan Huff alone is like a recording producer, giant, and knows tone, knows guitar, and just has got like perfect pitch and just can play about anything. So it was important to kind of go to him. Both he and his brother David, they are in front of a lot of people and a lot of artists, and kind of wanted to go like, what do you guys think of this guitar? Like, as far as in the studio, how does that, what are your thoughts on that? So it was important to start with them.
And a lot of artists. Trey was up there on that artist list. So I'm going to dive over here into this little thingamajig, and I'm going to play this reaction. It's just a little less than 2 minutes long. Hang with it, but it's really fun to watch. All right. Yeah, actually, Trey, you were here that day. You just came a little later. This was when you first saw the finished versions of it, I believe. Cool, all right, man. Here we go. Dan and David Huff. You keep mentioning the tone that you couldn't get.
Wow. That's what I'm saying. Because you have to go for certain things. That's bad. Wow.
So what's the story behind this one?
Andy can make the tone thing work.
But in the recording world, you got to fit tones in. Not every guitar is gonna work.
Yeah, but with this kind of guitar, I mean, my first thought wasn't Martin, but it was Gibson, which I I'm trying to think the Gibson that I use. This is the embarrassing part.
240, 241, whatever it takes.
Yeah, whatever. So anyway, obviously you couldn't. The intonation speaks for itself, but it's all, to me, it's all about mid range, and this one doesn't. It's not quite as hi-fi as these, but it still has that. I mean, there's a Taylor signature to the sound, but it sits in a different space. It's a little bit more traditional, which you came to the right town to show this thing. Wow, that's my prediction. That's gonna blow the doors open. Seriously, I mean, this is the first one you played here. Yeah. This for the Taylor, the known kind of Taylor experience. This is totally a departure from what I've experienced. Yeah. Not even close. So no disrespect to Bob, but he made a good choice. Yeah. But this is phenomenal. That whatever.
This is a game changer.
Yeah, that's a game changer right there. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Before we start the face-off, Trey Hensley, is the Grand Pacific body shape a game changer for Taylor?
It is, man. It's I was talking to Gabriel not long ago about it, and I just think it's a perfect guitar. It's like it they were mentioning on the video how it sits in a different space, and in the studio it's great. And then it just, especially for what I do, I do a lot of different stuff, but my main thing is kind of the flat picking bluegrass thing. And it is just, it's amazing. I feel like it's opened a lot of stuff up musically that wasn't really possible on other things. and I love all the other Taylors that I have, and I play them a lot. But yeah, I go back to the 717 and 517 quite often.
That's awesome, and we're gonna get into that right now. But before we get into that, Andy, I believe you have a song for this face-off, don't you?
Face, it's a face-off, Grand Pacific face-off with Trey.
Andy, how do you do that? That is like awesome. It's a beautiful song.
I loved it.
Thinking it's a little long. I might want to tighten it up a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah, you should tighten it up. But I'll talk to you after the show.
I'm already married,
that.
but if I wasn't, I would have that song played at my wedding.
Well, we could change the lyrics really easy if you want to use it.
All right, that'd
when
be
you
great.
remarry your bride again, and it's been 20 years, you can use it.
Chances are, if
That'll be
Trey,
perfect.
chances are, if Trey played it, he'd add a few notes, though.
Yeah, it's easy to count my notes.
1,974 notes.
Yeah,
1,974 notes.
Yeah.
All right, we're
think
gonna
that's
get
a
into
record.
this. We're gonna get into this GP face-off. Okay, GP face-off. How this works is I'm gonna play a clip. We're gonna play a strumming clip first of the 717. We're gonna talk about what we heard. Talk about how everybody feels here. Drop a line in the comments. We want to hear how you guys feel about this instrument too. Then we're gonna play a 517. And then we're bringing in the American Dream 17, the AD17e Blacktop, which to a lot of us was a surprise hit. So here we go. Stay with us, everybody. We're playing the 717, Builder's Edition 717, and I believe it's a Western Wild Honeyburst? Wild Honeyburst. WHB. Here we go. 717. Do you like what you heard?
Well, I was about to start singing some Bread songs.
Right.
Baby, do you want me? If
Right. Right. Did you like it? It's close, isn't it?
No, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, what is your feeling about the 717?
No, I love I mean, it's the full range. That bottom is like nice and full without getting boomy. Nice little high end without being too in your face. It's just a well balanced machine.
Yeah,
I give it a thumbs up.
You give it a thumbs up. All right, all right. As we marketed this thing, the Grand Pacific was a new tone. It was a new, a little bit more. I remember we said familiar. It's a new sound, a familiar sound, though a little bit more aged. Right. Andy Powers goes back to talk about those records that he used to hear. Right. Growing up, Andy was a jazz and a bluegrass kid, and he went to some special shows and listened to these old records of his parents had, and he never could really figure out why the guitars on record sounded a certain way, but he had the opportunity to actually work on these instruments. Some of the folks the played back in the day, and he would get them and be like, what is the deal? This doesn't sound like it does on record. And then he kind of put two and two together. Oh, EQ, mixing, the signal chain, and so on and so forth. Andy, what is your feeling about the 717?
What I liked about that demo is like it's a good one because he was just playing all those chords with the low E pedal ringing through the whole thing, and it was just so consistent. It wasn't first of all, he has a really nice right hand, so his strumming was really accurate, but that was just like, it was almost like that note was bowed.
Yeah.
It didn't really move at all through all the chords he was playing. Nice, and it sounds like a good Rosewood guitar. And the thing that's really cool too, we talk about bloom and the overtones that V class provides. If you listen to the very last chord that he played, it starts just as it cuts off. It's this other harmonic starts to jump in there really well. So it's kind of doing all the stuff we talk about. I gave it a thumbs up too, Jay.
Thumbs up. Okay, we got a thumbs up. What do you guys think in the feed? Trey, how do you feel about the 717? That's kind of your go-to for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've got the 5 and the 7, and the 7 was the first one that I had, and normally I'm not the hugest Rosewood guy, but the 717, like Tim was saying, it's huge without being boomy, which is a problem that a lot of Rosewood guitars have, and yeah, I mean this 717 is just. Yeah, I mean, the one I played earlier was the 517 with the Mahogany, which I know we're going to talk about next. But, yeah, I'll go and say 2 thumbs up for me as well. I love them. 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs
not
up.
To,
we got 2
not
thumbs
to
up
everybody, but 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I love it. I don't know if you guys remember Andy and Tim when Andy Powers was showing us these instruments. One of the things that he talked about was the puff of air, the woof that you get out of dreadnought guitars, big body guitars. You really hear that defined in Rosewood guitars. And he did the put your hand in front of your mouth thing, and he said, go pa 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 and say it. Say pa 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 pa. Do it, everybody, right now. I can see you in the feed. Do it,
Pa, 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 pa.
and you can feel that puff of air on your fingers. Right now, put your hands in front of your, face and say ma 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 ma. Ah, you see the difference?
Yeah.
And so that's that puff of air that Andy controlled in the Grand Pacific body shape. It's pretty rad. I love that.
So Andy's inside of each guitar he builds.
Actually, Andy Powers is in fact in every guitar. The files are in the computer.
Pop pop pop. Ma 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 ma.
I've actually done that. Like when we used to go out and do road shows, I've put a microphone right on the sound hole with those guitars.
Yeah.
It works. Like it's usually you would not aim there, right? Because exactly what you're talking about. Because that poof of air and that low end would usually smash the mic in a non-musical way and get in the way of the whole sound. But I swear those guitars, you can put something right on it.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a point where that's not
That's
working in your
pretty
mix or you're recording, but you should try it sometime because it just sits fine.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's definitely spectacular. It's a really spectacular instrument. So, next guitar, like Trey said, we're going to talk about the 517. I'm stoked about this one. I love this guitar. I want you guys to love it as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, strumming the Builder's Edition 517. Thumbs up. Yeah. Okay. Tim, how do you feel about the 517?
Well, Jay, I love Mahogany.
Yeah.
I love the Mahogany. And that one in particular, I love the way it, and Rosewood's nice because you hear this separate, but I like how the Mahogany has this kind of, all the notes kind of blend and mush together in kind of a fun little way and kind of, it has this nice little warm ma feeling, not a pop.
Exactly.
But I just love the fact. Yeah, I've always loved the sound of a Mahogany, which is funny. Before I got to Taylor, I didn't know I loved Mahogany guitars because I never thought about it, And then I got here and was like, oh, that's why I like those guitars.
Are you saying it's marvelous?
I am, Andy.
It's marvelous. Yeah, Trey, how do you feel about that guitar, 517?
It's my favorite guitar. I love the 517, and Mahogany is kind of where I'm at. It just seems to fit 98% of what I need. a mahogany guitar will do. And then, it's like occasionally it's really great to have, Rosewood guitars, and I use them a bunch, especially the 717. But man, mahogany, that 517, there's just something really cool. There's something really special about it. And yeah, for flat picking, it's kind of the perfect machine,
It's dry, it's woody, it gives you the
Yeah.
right mid-range, it gives you everything. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah, it's really clear. The clarity is a little more pronounced in mahogany guitars. It just seems like, and even volume wise, I like the high volume sound of a mahogany guitar over, a Rosewood guitar. But, both are great. There's no wrong answer.
there's no wrong answer.
In the Grand Pacific line, there's no wrong
All right.
answer.
All right, Andy, how do you feel about the 517?
I liked it. I could hear my thought was like if that guy what's his name that did our demos, is his name?
Daniel.
Yep. Like if he was going to start singing, I probably would, and it was a solo tune, I probably would have just let him go on the 717. But if the band was going to come in after the first verse or something, I bet that 517 would sit in the mix better at the end of the song. But I just had a thought about something, and I'd like to get your guys' opinion, and maybe even in the feed. Like, do you think that mahogany is a more sort of a taste that is developed over time as your ear gets a little bit better, maybe? Because Rosewood's pretty seductive, and a lot of people, when you do that demonstration, they vote Rosewood. But I'm listening to two people here who I really respect, their tastes and their ears, and it's I'm wondering if that's something that happens over time. Trey, what would you say about that?
I would say so, because for the longest time, for at least, I've been playing guitar for 20 years now. For 10 of them, I preferred Rosewood guitars, and it wasn't until these last 10 years that I've really started preferring mahogany guitars. So I do think there is something to that. I think it's a developed thing that, and people that really, it's the old saying about licorice. Not everybody likes it, but the people that like it really like it. It's kind of like the mahogany guitars.
Interesting.
I think that, the 517. It's magical to me, and Andy, I think that most of the time, I would totally, I think I would agree with that. I think that when people hear Rosewood guitars, they hear did you say luscious? Yeah, it's very like, it's got this vibe to it. It's just, but age. I think the age. It's a 517 or the mahogany. That's a torrefied Sitka spruce top with mahogany back and sides. I think it gives you this nice, aged feel. I don't know. What do you guys think in the feed? There's other. That's a good one. Zevo. That's Zevo. That's great. Okay, we got one more strum, and then we're going to do a fingerstyle playthrough all the way through. So the next guitar is the AD17e Blacktop. It's the Blacktop American Dream guitar with the spruce top and a ovangkol back and sides, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, ovangkol back and sides. So let me get to this video real quick. We'll play it, see how everybody feels. Surprised or not surprised? Spruce top, ovangkol back and sides. Andy, let's go with you.
Not surprised. I've heard it before, but but I was reminded about how guitars, how the Taylor sound has changed over the years, right? And the brothers that were in the video earlier talked about, this is a game changer. This is stepping out of what I thought Taylor was, right?
Right.
And all this has come over the years, and a lot of it has to do with what Andy Powers has developed. But to my ear, it's interesting now. To my ear, when I hear an ovangkol Sitka top, it's among the brightest guitars that we have, which I would not have said that 5 years ago, because he figured out a way to revoice the maple guitars, right? And now, when you listen to my ears, ovangkol has a little bit more chime on the high end than Rosewood does, and a little less bottom, right? So it ends up sounding a little bit brighter. And when the 414 was available in ovangkol, when we used to do shootouts live at road shows, I was very surprised over the last couple of years to hear that was actually, to my ear, one of the brightest guitars we have.
It's interesting. Trey, as an artist, as a flat picking genius, what do you feel about that guitar? Would you play that guitar? And how did you feel about its tonality?
I really liked it. I mean, I heard that it definitely sounded a little brighter than the other two, but not an overwhelming amount. You know, it was still really well balanced and still sounded really great. Yeah, I've never played a guitar with that kind of back and sides on it, but man, it sounds amazing, you know.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Tim, would you play this on stage with air supply?
I would, because there's a lot of love in that guitar, and that's what you want out of a guitar. You want the love to come emote from it, and I felt it when I heard it. It was, and you're right about, you know what? It's fun to listen to these three back to back, because I really wasn't expecting that one to be as bright as I thought. As when, I wasn't thinking it'd be that bright, but it's a nice bright. Actually, I didn't mind it, and I think after hearing all three, you kind of get where Andy's coming from. We're like, all three of those together, like if it was Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yep.
Or America with three acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
Each playing one of those guitars in a room would sound like incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that being said, let's do the back-to-back fingerstyle playthrough so everybody can hear this in real time. Backs. Here we go. GP 717, 517, AD17 Blacktop back-to-back fingerstyle. Wild. After the show, you need to go back, and we'll timestamp that. You need to go back and listen to that in headphones if you don't have them on, or with really nice monitors or really nice speakers, because it'll be a little bit more effective. If you're just watching on your phone, you might not have heard that. But that being said, Trey, let's go to you. How do you feel about those, and which one was the winner for you?
Oh man, they all sounded great. Yeah, if I had to pick. As much as I like the 517, that 717 just really it had the goods. Sound like a piano, man. It's huge without being overwhelming. But yeah, I'm camp 717 for that.
717. Andy Lund, Mr. Andy Lund. What was your choice? Talk about all three, and then which one's your winner?
The first thing I noticed that I thought about was how good the intonation was on all of those guitars.
Yeah,
it was so in tune.
Yeah,
right. I heard more. I thought that the 7 I'm sorry. I thought that the 5 and the AD17 sounded the most similar to my ears. I'm going to have to go with Trey, and I'm going to fight him to use the 717 because we're both going to grab it. So I'm going to go 717 on the fingerstyle.
717. That's fantastic. Tim, what is your...
I don't know. I mean, they all. I think the two I liked the most were the 5 and the 7. I think for the fingerstyle, but I got to go with the 5 on this one. The one thing I did notice, like Andy, you noticed the intonation, which was great, but also the way the bass note.
It's so balanced.
It kind of the balance of the bass note as he's playing the other notes really struck me. Is kind of on those guitars, but I'd have to say 517 gets my pick.
Gets your pick. Yeah, I would go. What I like when I hear that back to back thing, and I cheat a little because I'm in the studio and I hear these mixes before everybody else, and I get to hear it on, in the control room on $30,000 monitors. So it's a little different. But what I like a lot about the AD17 is it's almost like a precise high end. That's really, I usually don't like that. But on that instrument, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the water-based paint. I don't know what it is, but it's something about that's magical. The 717, I hear you guys, but I don't want to fight. I'm non-confrontational. I will let you guys take the 717. However, I will arm wrestle, or Tim and I both have electric cars. We could race our electric cars for the 517. I'm going to stick with my 517. I think as an all-around guitar, that would be my winner. So
this side here is 517.
Yeah,
it's evenly split.
We've already divided.
I think so. So Trey, here's what we'll ask real quick, because everybody in the feed, you guys throw us some questions. Throw Trey some questions. Keep going. And I saw a question earlier, and it was, let me get back to it real quick. Air supply. Where's my capo? Okay, that's a good one.
Where's my capo?
Do you think? Yeah, we're gonna go into that in just a second. There are some bracing questions, but there was this. When are they going to do a 617 Builder's Edition with torrefied top and maple back? That is a wild question. We don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it'll happen. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe we should take that as a suggestion box for Andy and just put that in there. Okay, Trey, here's my question. You're a ripper on your 517. You have a 717 in there somewhere?
I do. It's right here.
Will you play?
Yeah, man.
For 1 minute and try and get more notes in than the last minute that you played. If you could do that, that would be very helpful. And then we're going to
I have a new Trey Hensley challenge right now.
Trey Hensley challenge, go.
If you so accept. Okay. So hear me out. I don't know how many notes that was. Was that more than the last one? What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely.
I think it was 1,970.
Okay, so here's my challenge, Trey. Can you play 192 notes? So check it out. It's 12 bars of 16th notes.
All right. I have no idea. I have no clue.
I bet you can.
Probably not.
No?
I don't know. I'm so musically dumb that I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Mom, compared to Trey and Andy and Tim, I'm terrible at guitar. I can only count to 4. I'm a better bass player. It's okay. Are you gonna accept the challenge? Are you gonna try?
If I knew what it was, what?
So it's 12. You can play it 12 bars, but it's just 16th notes. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and a 3 E.
Was that it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the new math. That's the new math the kids are talking about.
Yeah, that's Common Core.
It's pretty fast, like when you figure out what the tempo was. But yeah, you challenge. God.
Wow. Wow, that was unbelievable. Okay. Before we get into, we got some questions here we're gonna answer. Will we someday have a show comparing different shapes to each other? Yes, actually, we are gonna do that. We'll probably start with the 800 series. We're gonna do series. We're thinking about doing tone woods. So, for example, every guitar with Sitka spruce on the top and rosewood on the back and sides, so you guys can hear the difference. That's a great question, Philip. We are gonna do that. We will also create YouTube content. And by the way, smash that like button if you could. Okay. Holy moly is right, Paul Tobias.
Paul.
Firearms are going off over the internet. I know. It's insane. What is Trey's favorite pick? Trey, what is your favorite pick?
Blue chip TAD60. That's my favorite pick. I've used these forever. It's a guy in around Knoxville, Tennessee, that makes these picks, and they last forever. He gave me one back in like 2007, and I still have that pick, and I use it a lot. And it's this one. It's this one right here. It was pre TAD. It didn't have a size on it, but they're beveled. And they're a little on the expensive side, but they're worth every penny of it. They're great picks.
Yeah, aren't they like $35 or something?
They are. But I mean, yeah, this one's. I've had it for 13, 14 years now. If you don't lose them, they're great.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't lose a $35 pick.
Yeah, picks are like sunglasses, right? Everyone complains about losing.
Yeah, I mean, I think for like flat picking stuff, it becomes inherently more important. Like for rhythm stuff in the studio, I'll bring just a bunch of picks. I'll have plastic picks and other. I've got picks of all kinds that I'll use in the studio. But for what I do, what I consider my main thing that I do, I use this pick for the most part.
Awesome, Trey. We got some questions coming in, so I'm gonna fire some questions at you. We got a lot of regulars that are here. Sambo76 is one of those regulars. Trey, thanks so much for joining us tonight. What situations do you like to play Rosewood versus Mahogany? That's a great question.
That is a good question. I think it's a little different with these Grand Pacific guitars. Just a couple days ago, we played in Savannah, Georgia, and I brought both of them and did an eeny, meeny, miny, mo situation, and I ended up playing the 517. But, like for these, this one is so well, balanced, and it does so many things. This is the 717, the Rosewood. But for the most part, like I've got a couple other Taylor Rosewood guitars that I use a lot more in the studio. It seems like the studio work that I do, a lot of times the Rosewood kind of works for a lot of things, so it's pretty split. But for the most part, when I'm playing live, a lot of it is the Mahogany stuff, Mahogany guitars, in particular this 517.
All right, we got another question here. Thanks, Trey. Trey, Phil says, what is your favorite string? Light, heavy, etc.
Diodario nickel bronze are what I have used forever. And they are medium gauge, so 13 to 56. and the nickel bronze, I think they're a little less tension, so they feel a little slinkier than like a regular medium gauge string. But these are brand new on this guitar, and they don't sound super bright as soon as you put them on, which is something I just never liked with other strings, you know. And so these just kind of already sound pretty worn in and without being dead, and it's like this perfect middle ground of, you know, of a new string that doesn't rip your head off with brightness. And then they feel really good. I don't really like coated strings that much. And it's mainly just it's a personal thing. Everybody likes different strings and how they feel. So I just really like these. I don't, that's since they came out with them, this has been really all I've used.
I love it. Speaking of strings, how do you feel about putting a lighter gauge string on a 517? Have you ever tried that?
I have not. I did try bluegrass gauge for a while, which is 12, 16, and 25, and then 36, 46, 56. I couldn't tell a big difference. I do play pretty hard, and I have been known to break strings, and so third strings are usually the ones to go, and third and second strings, which if they're lighter, that's going to make them go quicker. So I just sort of stick with the 13, 17, 26, you know.
Haha, not elixir, someone says. You know what? It's okay if you don't like elixirs.
Hey, I used elixirs for a long time, and I don't have anything against elixirs. It's everybody likes different things. And so, yeah, and I've had all kinds of different strings. There's a brand, it's a small company. What's the name of them? Anyway, they're great. If I could think of the name of them, I've used those occasionally too.
Tiny strings, I think. So.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The little bitty strings.
Little bitty strings. Rockwell has a question. I think he meant 517 somewhere. Where'd it go, Rockwell? Where are you at, Rockwell? Rockwell Jacobs. We should have Rockwell on. Oh, yeah. Man. He is a magical, too. Rockwell, will you be on Primetime? Answer in the feed, yes or no. That would be great. Do you use an LR Bags voice print with the 517? Or is it a Bags Anthem? What do you use?
I do. I use a combination of them. So just recently, I started using the voice print, which is a pedal. But the pickup that I use is an Anthem SL. And so I just started using this voice print back in, I think they just came out with it in January. But basically it's like you record your guitar on your phone, and then it sends it to the pedal, and it sounds more like your guitar. It helps the pickup sound more like your guitar, and it works really, really well with the 517 and the 717. And actually, I've got a couple of my Taylors, one of the 510s and the prototype for the V class that have the ES2 in them, and it sounds great with that voice print. It just kind of it gets rid of a little bit of kind of mid-range or quackiness that can come with pickups, acoustic guitar pickups. And for bluegrass, that's the big thing, is everybody wants their pickup to sound like their guitar. And I love plugging in these guitars because they are so well balanced. I don't have to EQ them, to death. And but the voice print thing works great. I really like it.
That's cool. This is a good segue to talk about. Look, if you want to try different pickups, if you want to try different strings, do it. Try them. Go out and do it. It's your instrument. And sometimes we get people who do send us LOL messages on social. You mean no elixirs? We work with elixirs. They last forever on the shelves. Yes, sometimes we're shipping all over the world, especially like Andes territory, right? The Asian market, where the temperatures and the climates are all, super humid or super hot, or, or cold climates, something like that. We need our guitars to stay fresh and so clean. Shout out Atlanta. To they got to stay good. Our pickups, we enjoy our pickups. Our pickups aren't great for everybody, and that's totally cool. Use what you need to use. I mean, one of the questions that we get often from artists is, do you mind if yeah, go ahead. You got to make it your instrument, make it comfortable for you. Can you, this is interesting. There's a question, because you would know. John Taylor had a question. Can you voice print your guitar, then use different guitar, but it will sound like the one you printed? Oh, this is crazy. This is like 3D printing stuff.
It will not. It will not. Yeah,
like
because I tried
redrumming.
Yes, no, it's. I did try that with the 517 and the 717, and it worked okay, But yeah, you still want to use the actual guitar, because there's nuances to every guitar that come through with that, which is I love trying the different pickup stuff, just because and the ES2 does that, where it sounds more like your guitar, and this that's what you want, you want it to sound like your guitar. So when you're voice printing, it's important to use your own, whichever guitar you're going to be using. So
it's not like redrumming.
It's not.
No, it's kind of like, I'd like to see like a hair print. I'd like to take a print of Andy's hair.
Yeah,
and put it on my head. I mean, that would be like a hair print, right? So,
I think
but
so.
yeah, I can't do that.
No, but if you did that and then you had Andy's hair, people would confuse you for Andy Lund and not Bob Taylor.
Jay, that is true.
And you are often mistaken for Bob Taylor in public places.
But that's why I need a hair print.
Okay, hair print. So Trey, this question is for everybody, and then we're going to move the show along. We're going to do, Lindsay's not here, so we're not going to do Lindsay's question. We're going to do Tim's question tonight.
Ooh.
Hey, you just got to change the name, Andy. You got a song. Yeah. This question is for all of us. All right, we're going to start with Tim, then go Trey, then go Andy, then go me. What guitar do you grab when you're just chilling on the couch?
What guitar do I just chill? Well, I got a little. Well, I got two guitars that I grab when I'm chilling on the couch.
Yeah.
A GS Mini.
Yeah.
And then I've got a little parlor guitar that James Taylor signed. That I kind of like to grab. Yeah. That's kind of
my just fun couch inspiration. I know where you live.
Yeah.
All right, Trey, what is the guitar you grab when you're just sitting on the couch?
I've always got my 517 nearby. And then lately I've been playing this prototype quite a bit. The V-Class prototype. It's a smaller guitar than a dreadnought. I don't know what the size exactly is, but it's really comfortable.
I think it's a 12 fret, Andy.
It's actually a 14 fret on a 12 fret body. It has 14 frets, but you would think it was a 12 fret.
Oh, weird.
It's really cool guitar, man. It's really cool. Not to brag or but it's really cool.
But you are. That's okay.
You're totally bragging. Andy Lund, what guitar?
Well, Trey's bragging and Tim's dropping names, so I don't know how to follow this.
Ooh. Right. You should be like the prototype guitar James Taylor played at my high school graduation.
I noodle around a lot on my Academy nylon string guitar. I like that. It's a great couch guitar.
That is a good couch guitar.
And lately, just the GT, the little tiny GT guitars. I've got an Urban Ash guitar, and but I really like. This has kind of been the one for the last couple of weeks. This is the
AD22.
AD22 Grand Concert 14 fret, which all mahogany top, which I really dig. So I'm gonna go.
So I had one of those last week for an artist shoot, and we put nickel bronze strings on it, and it sounded sweet.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. Yeah, it's fantastic. My couch guitar only has 4 strings. It's a GS Mini bass.
I like to hear this one with silken steels. I think that would be a really cool sound. It'd be
that would be
super
cool.
lo-fi,
That would be interesting.
but it would be really, I think, pretty neat sound.
That would be pretty wild.
Yeah.
All right. 512 CE. We got some guitars. Ooh, Tex. He got an 811E. Tex.
Nice.
How do you like your 811E? All right. I think it's time to move this thing along. Andy, you know what time it is. It's Lindsay's question, but she's not here tonight. So can you change? Will you change the lyrics to 10?
I might not have to. Let's see what I got to try to remember what I got here today. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Do you think just because overdrive or heavy fuzz, if you could, if you knew, how would you, what will you say? Trey, what will you say to hairprint him?
You know what? I think, can we have just an hour of Andy Lunn playing?
I know. I want to make us record.
I do. I want to have like acoustic hour with Andy Lunn.
Yeah,
I know.
man.
Where you kind of just give him like a challenge and you have him write songs on the spot.
Or, do his songs, or you could do a challenge. You have a challenge moment. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Well, it's right. It's my mom would tell you that if we made a record with just Andy Lunn songs, she would listen to it more than anybody else.
I know.
So there's that. Your turn, Tim. Tim's question.
My question.
Lindsay is at a show representing our artist relations team. You are going to ask a question to our friend Trey.
Okay, Trey. So I got a question for you. This is hot chicken. I want to know spice level and bone in or tenders.
Oh man. It depends on where. Prince's is my favorite,
Yep.
and I would say extra hot
Oh.
bone in. Bolton's I can't do extra hot, so I'd probably say hot, and I'll go tenders at Bolton's. And if I'm at Hattie B's, then I'm going as hot as I can. So yeah,
if you
bone
haven't,
in or tenders for Hattie B's.
probably tenders.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good question, though. Everybody wants to know the best hot chicken in Nashville, and yeah, definitely go Prince's or Bolton's.
You know, I've done Prince's and obviously Hattie B's, but I've yet to go. And every time I go like, I got to go to Bolt's. I have not gone.
It's great, man. It'll ruin your day, but it's great. In the best way possible, it'll ruin your day.
But you know, and when you said extra hot and hot or extra hot, like I'm amazed because I just have like medium, and it's
the majority of the time it's like I'll do medium because there's you've got life to live.
You do have life to live.
Yeah, on the odd chance. I went to the last time I went to Bolton's was with a friend of mine, and we did the whole well, if you're gonna get hot, then I'm gonna get extra hot, and I just I couldn't do it. It was just too brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, they take it seriously there in
chicken.
Nashville.
This is the question. So if you haven't figured this out yet, Trey lives in Nashville. Okay, they're talking about hot chicken, and whenever Taylor people go to, it's the topic of discussion, hot chicken. So I'm the weirdo in the room. I'm the vegan in the room, right? So I like memes a lot. I got this meme sent to me that was great. It's like a chat, like a text conversation, and this is how it goes real quick. Chat number 1 says, "I'm going to McDonald's." Reply, "Okay." "I'm going to smoke a cigarette." Reply, "Okay." "I'm going to go get hammered drunk." "Okay." "I'm going vegan." OMG. Where are you going to get your protein? Calcium. You're going to kill your babies. That's what my life is all about. You guys talk hot chicken and people think I'm going to die because I haven't had meat in a while. Whatever. All right. Andy, someone suggested the Northwood Sessions. That's a great name.
Oh.
And then somebody else wrote, can Andy write a song about sunshine, mud puddles, and Pop-Tarts?
I'll have to write that down.
Dennis Cruz would like you to write this song. So next week, you're going to have a song about sunshine, mud puddles, and Pop-Tarts.
We're opening a huge can of worms here, Jay.
I know. It's going to be great. This can of worms is fantastic. You go fishing. It's fine. Right?
Well, you know what happens when you open up a can of worms?
Yeah.
You got to eat them.
You got to eat them. All right, this is fantastic. Okay, cool. Next part of the show, Trey, as you know, it's my favorite part of the show. We're going to play a useless clip. Then he's going to play a song. Then I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about some sports stuff, and we're going to go from there. And then we're going to wrap up the show with some trivia. Here we go.
That guitar is so out of tune. That's my favorite.
What are you talking
That's
about?
horrible.
There's nothing horrible about that.
Okay. 2 minutes of sports. Game 1 tonight. Astros and Babes, baby, who's your fave? It's all on the line, 162 games. To lose is defeating, let's hope there's no cheating. This is 2 minutes of sports.
Hey, I wore an Atlanta Braves hat for you, Trey. I know you're an Atlanta Braves fan.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your team being in the World Series.
Heck yeah, man.
As you could see, it's 5-0. So you're starting off in a good place. How excited are you that your boys are in the World Series? Ooh, it's 5-1. It's 5-1. Whoops. Houston just scored a run. It's 5-1. But how do you feel about your boys being in the World Series?
I'm excited, man. I went Atlanta, but I went a different route. This is Outcast with Braves colors. You know, it's Atlanta. It's I didn't want any arguing in the comment section, of Braves fans.
I actually have an Astros hat over there.
All right, just
Hold
in
on.
case.
Well, I'm waiting for the hate. Well, I didn't get any hate. See, here's my deal with it. I think we talked earlier about this. Here's my deal. Okay, listen to me, everybody. I just want Houston to play a good series. I would like the Atlanta Braves to win. I am a huge Freddie Freeman fan, and I think that he needs to win a World Series. I like the fact when it's been 21 years since they've been in a World Series, so this is exciting. However, also, I mean, you got two managers who are like, they're playing old style baseball right now. They're from the heart. If Dusty Baker wins, I'm not going to be mad. I think that would be cool. So it's a good series. All I wish for is a spectacular 7-game series. No Paul Tobias. It will never be better than Game 7 of 2016. We all know this. He was about to go crazy on me real quick, but I do have an Astros hat over there. I do have 4 Astros hats, which means I can wear one, but it's been a little while since I wore an Astros hat. You get dirty looks when you.
I just wanted to go the more subliminal route,
I love it. Outcast hat. That's fantastic. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. You're right. Dusty was on the Atlanta Braves. He was. So that's fine. The Braves haven't won since 1995. Man. Go Mets. Wait a second. Wrong sport. Just kidding. LOL. All right. We're going to end with some trivia. Trey, it has been so fantastic having you on the show.
Hey, thank you guys so much.
The last part of the show is some trivia, as you know. We got a good trivia question. Tonight is a care pack. You're going to get a tuner. You're going to get some picks. One of our new pick tins. You're going to get some cleaner. You're going to get a rag. There's got one prize. If you win, email us at primetime@taylorguitars.com. All right. The way this works is the first person to answer the question right in the feed wins. You got to email us all your information. We'll send it out. The rules are Gabriel O'Brien and Paul Tobias cannot answer the questions. And if you guys are ready, get yourselves ready real quick. I got to make sure I can monitor this real quick. Here we go. Monitor ready. The question is, this artist made a big impression on Andy Powers when his parents took him to his concert when Andy was only 6. Who is it?
Dun, 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 boom, boom, dun, dun.
Most days it don't matter how much useless stuff you know. Here on the primetime part of the show is trivia.
Stand step 3.
Put your knowledge on the line. Trivia.
Doc Watson, you are right. The story was precious. We made a video about it, and maybe I'll drop it in the comments after the show. But the story is really great. When Andy was 6, his parents took him to a local theater called the La Paloma Theater here in Encinitas, California. It's an old movie theater. They've got a stage. They do some shows. They still do movies there from time to time. It's cool. It's just a one-screen little theater. The guy who owns it is a big guitar fan, so we were able to shoot some content there. But Andy told the story about his folks took him to see Doc Watson, and he was 6 years old. And after the show, they walked him up to the front. He was like, asked Doc if he could get his autograph. And Doc Watson put his hand on his head and laughed and rubbed his head a little and said, I'm sorry, I never learned how to read or write because I can't see. So maybe some of this guitar playing will rub off on you. And that is when Andy started playing guitar. And now we have Andy Powers, a master designer at Taylor Guitars. So that is the story. Just like you, Trey, he started playing at a very young age. Just like Tim, he was 25. He joined a rock band and was amazing. I'm just kidding. I know you learned when you were younger, Tim. Just like Andy. When did you learn how to play, Andy?
8th grade. There were guitars in the music class that I took in 8th grade.
Man,
wanted to learn how to play Stairway to Heaven. That was the beginning of it all.
That's so great.
No, it's a good song.
It's a good song to play.
Still a great solo.
That's so good. Well, everybody, thank you guys so much for a great show. Thanks for hanging out with us, Trey. Man, Rockwell Jacobs confirmed. He said he would do the show. I saw it. In the feed. I'm stoked on that. Rockwell, I'll give you a call, and we will schedule you next week. We're having Mr. Rich Casciato back on the show to talk about GC's, the Grand Concert Face-Off, next week. Trey Hensley, it has been so spectacular having you on the show, man. We are so grateful for your playing, and you're inspiring, and keep doing what you do, man. Go Braves.
Hey, thank you guys very much. Y'all are the best, and it's been great to be on here.
Thank you so much. Andy, you know what time it is. Take it away.
What was it? What was it? It was prime time. It was prime time. What the heck was it?
What was that? Well,
that was prime time. Hey, thanks to Trey for all your time today. When you want to hear someone kill it on guitar, just go and watch him play. Hensley played the Ryman when he was only 11 years old. He loves his hot chicken, but on the 517 he sold. Thanks for shredding on prime time. At least 1,974 notes. Thanks, everybody. See you next week on Tuesday on prime time.
All right, everybody. Take care. Have a good night.